Urros of House Starfell now rules over all of Dorne as well as the restored ruins of Valyria, but all from the safety of his hall. Too craven to face a dragon's fire, he sends his keepers into the wilds to fill the pit in his name. Yet, while beasts are hunted, another danger grows. His daughter, Lady Cedra the Silver Star, stands as heir apparent, but the vassals whisper for another, and Urros knows all too well the wrath of a spurned Starfell. Welcome back once again, everybody, to House Starfell, where we are 51 years old Lord Urros Starfell, a craven man, but a fortune builder, so we are at least bringing in that tax. Now, the first thing we need to do today is once again break the marriage of our heir and daughter, Cedra the Silver Star Starfell. That's a lot of stars. Basically, we went to a lot of effort yesterday to break her initial marriage because she was married off to a Starfell, only to then remarry her and forget to make it matrilineal. So we're going to have to break this off. We will need about 100 piety to do that, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. People also made the point that playing as Merrick would be quite interesting. Oh my god, he's a Milk of the Poppy addict. Playing as Merrick would be interesting. We could, for example, give Merrick the actual ruin, or the restored ruin, I should say now, over in Valyria and have him continue from there. I'm not against that idea, and then letting Cedra take control of Dorne. However, I think at the moment it's a little bit too early for that. Reason being, if Cedra was to control all of Dorne and we gave Merrick Valerios over here and we were just playing as Merrick, we would then be getting around 0.54 tax per month, while having to upgrade things that are in the hundreds, let alone how long it would take us to actually try and start restoring a different ruin as well. So I'm not against eventually splitting Starfell in two and then continuing as somebody over here in Valyria while we somewhat watch and try and support our family from afar while they control Dorne. But I still think it's a bit too early for that. Someone else also pointed out that over in Valyria here, there is actually an inhabited county. Now, this is currently held by Lady Obara Brownworth, who's actually fated the Seven and Salt Dornish, but it has not always been this way. If we look at the title history, you can see that it was previously controlled by Lady Senenaru, the traitor Steger, heart of the Shadow Faith and Shadowmen culture. It was initially controlled by this family, but then was conquered by Lord Gethin Brownworth. An interesting one that. We'll see what they end up doing. I'm not sure how the AI will really act inside of Valyria here, considering it's a sub-mod, but maybe they will also try and restore ruins around themselves. Not entirely sure. The first thing I'm going to do is head on a pilgrimage to Highgarden here to see if we can pick up the actual 100 piety we need to sort out the marriage that my daughter is involved in currently. We've taken a break from trying to tame any dragons for the time being. Some of them that we've attempted are on cooldown. Others just look a little bit too hard at the moment to actually tame. Now, somebody else did mention that it is possible to try and capture a dragon and put them in your dragon pit. I believe that button appears here somewhere. I don't think it even comes up in the right click. But in order for that to actually be an option, I believe the dragon has to at least be in the area or within the realm. You'll see here that this is a wild dragon, but Lord Hugo Morris of Wild Lake here, of Wald Lake, is his actual host. So I believe if there was a dragon that we were sort of hosting in air quotes, as in and around this area, we could attempt to capture it, but I don't believe we have the ability to just send somebody out into the world to try and capture a dragon and bring it back. If that does exist, do let me know. It probably does in a different mod that I don't have, but at the moment, looking through everything, including at our actual dragon keeper as well, there's no actual immediate options here to just go and sort of claim or capture a dragon. The son of Haegon the Beautiful Targaryen, Maelys here, is after taking to the skies on his dragon Misa. Kind of incredible that the main notifications that we're getting at the moment for new dragons entering the world is still just Lord Haegon adventuring around and just having dragon eggs coming out left, right, and center. Oh, look at this. Green Comet is in High Hermitage. It's been sighted roaming near the Lordship of Starfall. Do we have the option to capture you? Oh, there it is. There it is. So we could attempt to lead it ourselves, which I don't think we will do. It's not very on brand given that we're craven, but we can send our Dragon Keeper out. 74% chance he's forced into the Dragon Pit. but there is a 25% chance that he resists, and then from that, a 54% chance that Durham is killed. Best of luck, Durham. Green Comet resists being forced into the Dragon Pit, and Durham was killed. Okay, that's unfortunate. Can we get another Dragon Keeper, please? We've appointed a new head Dragon Keeper, Bayard here. Welcome in, my friend. Good news, good news. I have an immediate task for you. I need to try and capture this dragon. Oh, it's on cooldown. 362 days. You have to wait like a full year before attempting it again. But that's good to know. At least when we get these notifications of a dragon being nearby, we can try and actually capture it. Also another reason to try and actually hold on to our control of Dorne here, because it enables us to try and capture them if they're within Dorne, rather than waiting for them, the very slim chance of them suddenly just coming down here by themselves. But that's fine though, at least now we can see how that worked, and I know that I wasn't just going crazy not seeing that button. They do just need to be nearby. There we go with our pilgrimage finish. We're up to about 400 piety. Please don't be pregnant, daughter. Okay, good, you're not. Let's get this divorce going. Okay, incredible. Green Comet has started roaming elsewhere, by the way, heading over to Dawnbrink, but still inside of Dorne, actually. So if he's still here in just under a year, we can try again. Now then, this time, let's click the matrilineal button and actually try and find a decent suitor. Okay, let's see. Who makes the most sense here? Not a huge amount of men going. Arthur Hayrock here seems interesting. Decent fighter at the very least, and he will accept matrilineal. You know what? Go for it. There we go. That looks a lot better. And also, while you were here, I would also like to teach you dragon lore. Let's also do that over here with Merrick as well. What I'm actually going to do as well, rather than consistently going back in to manage Realm Affairs to try and find the dragons, I've actually pinned every single dragon that is currently wild, so we can at least at a glance see exactly where these dragons are, just to make sure we don't miss out on a chance to actually capture them. And if we want to tame or bond with any, we can just immediately click on them here rather than rooting around in the menus for them. Of the dragons that are mainly interesting to us, we would ideally love a female. Mir is interesting. She does actually have a child as well, and she is wild. And Silagon would also be fantastic. Another female also already has one dragon child. Tessarian could also work, another female with a child, and the rest are all male. So ideally we want to try and find one of those females, and then ideally, even if we can, pick up the mate as well. Interestingly though, there's quite a few wild male dragons whose mate is actually Cyrax, who is a female dragon but is owned by the King of the Iron Throne and is currently in their dragon pit. So this is really the dragon that is responsible for all of the Targaryen's eggs at the moment. Now, with the gold that we are saving up, we are going to start actually upgrading the worm-infested volcanic mine here. Right now, it's just giving debuffs, but at max level, starts to look very, very nice. Having another look at the succession here, and again, I'm very focused on making sure that I continue in a roleplay fashion. I don't want to just go changing laws or upheaving my own family because I want to play as somebody specific. We, of course, like I mentioned, have the option to make Merrick our favorite child and play as him anyway. But, oh, I forgot that Merrick does actually also have Sunspear. So he would have Sunspear and Valyrios if we gave that to him. But the alternative, and honestly what I'm leaning towards, is actually changing the gender law in Dorne to be male preference. Now, I know this is pretty ambitious, and Dorne is a place that probably should have equal succession, but the fact that when we actually look at our actual succession currently, and we can see that the majority of vassal types actually prefer Merrick at the moment, could be a core reason to do that. And we are not making it that women cannot inherit, just that it is male preference. And all of our powerful vassals would actually approve this as well. You know what? Let's do it. I'm going to change the law. I'm going to pass this law, and Lord Merrick is now our player heir. Again, I do know that alternatively I could have just given Merrick Sunspear and Valyrios and have him play up from there, but I don't really want to get 12 or 13 episodes in, and then it's essentially episode 1 again because we're building up from nothing. If we had some dragons, if I knew Merrick would have some dragons, or Valyrius was a bit more established, then maybe we could do that. But I think for now, this makes the most sense. And there is an RP reason, because Urros is being told that the majority of his vassals would prefer Merrick. So apologies, Cedra. We put you through about 4 different marriages, but everything's going to be fine, I promise. Taking a quick focus on Merrick as well, because thus far we have just been looking at Cedra. Merrick is the man that we married off to Daenerys Targaryen of Sunspear here, and he already has a child, Hugh Starfell, who is actually comely and has consecrated blood, which is tremendous. So that should help improve our succession overall. I probably could have done that in the previous episode, but I do hate messing around with those laws. I hate ever feeling like I'm making a decision just for what I want or what is going to be easier or better for us. But again, I hope you can all appreciate that while I could have just continued as Merrick in a sort of smaller fashion, I purposefully didn't give us dragons or dragon riders in the beginning so that we could build up from nothing, and I feel like it's a bit too soon to just suddenly go back to it. Okay, the good news is that Green Comet is still flying around High Hermitage, so we can once again attempt to trap him. Bayard, I believe in you, my friend. 79% chance. Yes, well done, Bayard. So for the first time ever, we actually have a dragon inside of our dragon pit that for some reason is showing up over here. Maybe just because this is our capital, but it should definitely be over in Valyria here. All right, so the good news is that Green Comet is here and secure. We can't bond with it just yet as we are still on cooldown, but it at least now won't fly away. Bayard, as a reward, my friend, I'm going to raise you to the nobility. You can found your own dynasty. You are the first dragon keeper we have ever had that has successfully trapped the dragon. And I'm an idiot because clearly if they are nobility, they can't be dragon keepers. Okay, my bad, my bad. Congratulations, my friend. You are relieved from your duty and you're now a noble. Let's find another one. Amazingly, this is free though. We have Albin here, who's a wise man and also loyal. Fantastic. Oh, look at this though. This is something I did not consider. Cedra attempted to tame Green Comet. So if we actually look at our realm, we have a new sort of law here, which is who gets access to the dragon pit. Currently, it is close family only. We can build that up to be house, dynasty, or everyone, which we definitely will not do. Now, I do have the option to ban access to the dragon pit for certain people. Now, this does mean that it will cost us 150 renown and 350 prestige, which is not fantastic, but we can have some control over who exactly we want in here. That would have been incredibly ironic if right after disinheriting Cedra, in effect, by changing the law, she then actually ended up picking up Green Comet. I suppose I might ban her anyway, though, only because we really just want Merrick here to tame Green Comet, because otherwise, I imagine if Cedra actually manages to bond and tame Green Comet, we can't tell Cedra to put that dragon back in the dragon pit when she dies, which would put us back to right where we are now. Obviously, eventually, when we're going for the dragon riding family and we need multiple people with dragons, the goal then will be to have it be a little bit more open, let them sort of tame dragons as they come and whatnot, and kind of go for it that way. But while we only have one dragon in the dragon pit, this is super precious. As a matter of fact, just in case, I'm going to ban my other daughter as well. Oh boy, my siblings can attempt it as well. I suppose I should ban you guys also. They really don't like it either. They lose a significant amount of opinion. It does feel very aggressive, and it's not something that I want to do all of the time. It wouldn't even be something that I would do right now, because if I could, I would just be attempting to tame it with Urros and be in control. But for now, I need to make sure that nobody touches it, and if anybody tries, that it's at least Merrick. Gotta admit though, for a Milk of the Poppy Addict, Merrick looks pretty clean with that mustache. Prince Baelor has changed his court language to Common. So once again over in Dragonstone, they are changing their court language back. Lord Davos Chelstead of Bramsford here, King Rhaegar's court poet, has sent us a letter. I've been informed by a mutual acquaintance that you and I share a similar interest. Tell me the truth, are you a hunter? If so, what game is your favorite to hunt? Probably a stag hunt. I don't think a craven man would be that up to be go hunting boars. The stag is king of the woods, they say. My gamekeeper has spotted a rather large one recently. Would you care to join me on a hunt? Together, we may be enough to bring the beast down. This is interesting, but I'm just awfully suspicious of it. What is he? Adulterer, sodomite? He's not deceitful or anything, though, so I doubt he's actually in any actual scheme against us, but I think we'll decline for now, my friend. We can always set up our own hunt if you really want to. Death of a dragon rider. Princess Visera of the Iron Throne has died. Her dragon, the light purple beast Gravefire, is now without the guidance of her rider. Now, Gravefire is super interesting to me, both because it's probably my favorite name for a dragon that I've seen thus far, and I've also just realized that she's also a female. Let's pin you as well. Hopefully, you might end up flying around down in Dorne and we can try and capture you. I could in the meantime attempt to bond with you. I'm not sure how good it would go though. It's only an 11% success chance because of a base of -50 and a wild dragon having -25. We do have quite a few buffs against it, but not an insane amount. I would cancel it, but we may as well let it happen because either way will be on cooldown. Also, the dragon is on redouble guards. War declared on Liege by Khaleesi Jaqui. Oh, you're Dothraki, but you're also a pirate. That doesn't feel incredibly lore friendly, but okay. I suppose though in the Stepstones, arguably it's just sort of like a series of land crossings as opposed to like crossing the narrow sea in its entirety. Another random rival here, an elf from Stark, our brother-in-law, for no real reason. Ooh, hold on a minute. A new dragon enters the world from Shara Tarbeck. And your host is Lord Dunavir Darbeck. Is this the man who has all the eggs? He does have another egg. That is very interesting. I never thought that some of the eggs that were held elsewhere in the kingdom would end up hatching, but they are. And you're actually a duke inside of the Westerlands as well. What is happening here? Did you steal some eggs? So having a look at the eggs, somehow Dunavir Tarbeck here has picked up a red dragon egg. We'll have a look at that in a second. Obviously, King Rhaegar has a ton. He's also picked up a beryl dragon egg. Haegon the Beautiful is in prison with his purple dragon egg. Prince Baelor of Dragonstone also has a red dragon egg. Lots more of Valar. Then we have back to the Valyrians. And then the Priestane family that we looked at the start of the game still has their eggs as well. Now, they've split a bit amongst some people within the family, but they are still there. And the rest are all held by King Rhaegar. If we look at the history of the red dragon egg that's controlled by Lord Dunavir, the details surrounding the creation of this artifact are unknown. So we actually have no idea where he has gotten these eggs from, but he's managed to not only get an egg, but also have his children start to hatch them. Very interesting indeed, but that's still fine for us. We're still happy to see dragons are doing their thing. Wait a minute, it's not a mystery. We can see the parent was Gravefire. Oh, I figured it out. I figured it out. The rider of Gravefire, Princess Visera Targaryen, was married to Dunavir Tarbeck, and he has obviously headed off with the eggs picked up from that dragon and is now giving them to his family. Very interesting. Fantastic marriage from his dynasty, though, doing the things people have been screaming in the comments at me to try and marry a dragon rider, but when I have a look, there's never any dragon riders available. Unfortunately, Gravefire has rejected the bonding that is to be expected, and that's a critical stress break for us. But we're athletics, let's just go on a good workout and stop thinking about all this. Lord Guy, at 70 years of age, has finally figured out how to run a bank and has had another profitable year. Shares are so cheap at the moment that, to be honest with you, I'm just going to buy a ton of them. We'll keep 1,000 gold as we work towards actually upgrading the mine again, but why not? I want to make sure that whenever there is an actual vote for the next bank director, that we are basically guaranteed to win. We have 52 shares and Guy behind us just has 10. Now, last time I thought I already had more than enough of a majority and still lost, so we'll have to see. Gotta admit, Lord Haegon the Beautiful Targaryen story here is pretty wild. He has been birthing dragons all over the place just as a wanderer and is actually 5th in line for the throne after some of the more direct descendants of King Rhaegar the Uglifier. There's also going to be a level of poetic beauty that the king is King Rhaegar the Uglifier, and then a possible claimant who's currently in prison is Lord Haegon the Beautiful. He's also just imprisoned by a count over here inside of the 3 daughters. Well, I say a count, but he controls all of this land. Out of curiosity, I'm going to send some gold to Haegon the Beautiful here, seeing if that's maybe what he needs to actually ransom himself off. We'll have to see, but I want to intervene here a little bit. I want to see what King Haegon can get up to. I don't want to see him die in jail. Hold on a minute. King Rhaegar the Uglifier wants a loan. I have run into some monetary difficulties lately. Would you be willing to grant me a loan of 1,220 gold? The amount plus 25% interest will be repaid in 5 years. You know what? I think we'll actually accept this. Should he pay that back, it's even more gold for us. And while I am still waiting to upgrade the mine, we're not stuck for income at the moment. And it also really would play the part well of us actually being properly in position to be the next ruler of the bank, considering that the king is coming to us personally for a loan. Speaking of, Lord Guy has just been excommunicated by the High Septon. Oh, I didn't realize this. I was having a look around the court here, and there's also a high dragon pit funding option inside of what we're funding here. We've started off at level 4, which is decent, but we could increase it 1 level. And from what I can tell, the main difference here is that the head dragon keepers will now usually generate with excellent aptitude. For an extra like 70 gold a month, I think that's well worth it. I'm going to bump everything else up to 4 as well. It's only a few more gold per month, and it should put us close to being the first ranked court in the world. Valyrian Targaryen, son of Lord Hagon the Beautiful, is after claiming the beast slide. Congratulations, my friend. To be honest, I'm just so fond of Hagon. Oh, he is free. He managed to get his freedom. Incredible. Hopefully our gold helped him. There is a plague starting right next to our capital here, though. Stone Dornish fire. It could be time to isolate for a little bit. Oh, we didn't actually pick up the plague, but we have gained the trait ill. Do no more than what's necessary, please. Oh, he's made me even worse. Oh, boy. Dying. We are vengeful. I think we may want to put him under lock and key for this. It is a small act of tyranny, but I think it has to be done, because earlier he also messed up when my wife was ill. Send for a new maester straight away, please. Maester Winton, you're more than welcome. Please don't make any mistakes. Okay, in spite of the fact that he messed it up, we did manage to get over. What we have now, though, is a dangerous faction forming. The Liberty faction wants lower crown authority once again. There is a faction to install Sir Clarion Starfell on the Dornish throne, as well as Nyreen again on the Dornish throne. And I assume this is still Lady Leonette at 65 years of age. The thing is, though, this is currently a pressed claim, but I believe when Nyreen comes to power, she will have an unpressed claim. So once we can stop Nyreen from ever actually starting a war for this, the Nymeros Martell family should lose their claim on the throne itself. Vermithor passes on, the Bronze Fury at 210 years of age. Look at the size of him. The little plague we had is gone away, so I am going to emerge from seclusion here, which should actually help with the faction a little bit. They didn't like the fact that I was secluded. Craven, High Crown Authority, High Levy Contribution. I don't actually need you to have that, to be honest. You can just go normal on everything. That's just opinion of me. That's also opinion of me. Yeah, that actually seemed to make it a bit more manageable. There was just some contracts that had kind of fallen out of balance, but sorting that out has actually helped quite a bit, and they're now below the actual requirement to send an ultimatum, which is fantastic. Oh, look at this. We have our first cadet branch. Our first ever cadet branch. Magister Joffrey Dane here. Wait, he's created a cadet branch and just called it House Dane. So inside of the Dane dynasty, there is now House Dane the cadet branch, and then House Starfell, the bastard branch. Okay. Incredibly, you have ended up being a vassal in the free city of Pentos. How exactly did this happen? So, you were a Starfell. Your father was Lord Reynold Starfell of the Sword Keepers, whose mother was Maurice Starfell of Dawnbrink, whose father was Emery Starfell of Starcrossing, whose father was Lord Ulrich Starfell, who of course came from Valor the Poet Sand. Incredible. And now you're over in Pentos by yourself. They were an adventurer band for like 3 generations, and they finally got land for themselves and are now starting their own cadet branch. Oh, my brother-in-law and rival is dead. Not one day too soon. Urros has just been dead set down the stewardship focus here. We just picked up Avaricious, which is tremendous. Even more holding taxes, which should actually help with getting us improving Valyria over there. We'd already be there if the king didn't ask for a loan, but hopefully that'll pay back dividends. Oh, and there it is, 61 years of age, and Lord Urros of Dorne has abandoned his mortal coil. He died of old age, a keen and dedicated hunter. He loved to spend entire weeks in the wilderness looking for the most elusive game. Lord Merrick ascends to the throne, energetic and collected. Merrick will surely improve the realm under his rule. And Merrick's only 33 as well, which is fantastic. All right, first things first, what are we doing here? We're swaying Gerald. Why? Let's immediately abandon this scheme. No need for that. Of course, the issue of Sunspear arises once again. We're going to have to hand this off. So I'm going to give Caston here 1 piece of land. I think it's only fair, considering we also forced him to divorce his wife earlier. But then Sunspear itself, we're going to give to our cousin, Sir Coran Starfell. And then you can hold the actual duchy for us as well. There you go, my friend. And then I actually think, in spite of the fact it's not our best trait and diplomacy is, I still think stewardship just needs to be the focus. I'm going to take the +3 stewardship as well to try and help out up here, so we can try and hold on to one more holding. Maybe if I go to my council, somebody else can maybe help with this. If I got a new hand that was more stewardship focused, that would probably get me there. Yeah, this will work. Dickon Starfell is incredible in terms of his traits. Look at this. We can have him doing anything. But for now, please oversee the realm for us. Give us another +2 stewardship, please. And we're still only at 5 out of 4. If I get my wife on managed domain, there we go. It took us a lot, but that gets us to 5 out of 5. Straight away, we get an event with Hugh here, our son. We want him to keep the trait vengeful. You know what? At this stage, it runs in the family. Hold on a minute. Who are you betrothed to? Brianna Starfell, my cousin. Why are my family just obsessed with marrying themselves inside of the family? Listen, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to break this betrothal though. This is not what we want. I don't necessarily want to rush who I should betroth you off with either. I kind of want to look a bit deeper into the families if I can. The Valyrian blood we still want until we actually hybridize the culture. Again, I understand it's not really the Valyrian blood I want as much as dragon riders and whatnot. I get that, but there's no dragon riders currently available or children of dragon riders. So yeah, honestly, I think I might just give it a second. We'll keep the eye out for somebody for Hugh to actually marry, but I just feel like a betrothal at the moment might just be rushed. Are any of my other children betrothed? No, they're not. Lady Irene Starfell is not. We also have Orivel Starfell, Janice Starfell, and then finally we have Lady Darius Starfell. Picking up consecrated blood has been very nice though. Princess Rhaenys Targaryen of the Iron Throne has managed to claim the beast Rhaenal from the Dragon Pit in King's Landing. Interesting. Magister Joffrey Dane, who created the Cadet branch, is giving us a gift of an ancient plaque as well. We'll accept. Not the greatest gift in the world, but nice to see he's still in our good books. Head of Fates for gold, absolutely. Thank you very much. And that should give us enough gold to continue over here in Valyria. Oh my word, why is it up to 4,000 now? Oh, probably because we don't actually have a architect anymore. No, we do. We have a good architect as well. Oh, it's probably just because our father had incredible stewardship. He had like every perk in the tree. That's fine. That's fine. We're newly empowered. It's to be expected. We'll get there. We'll get there. Let's change our Master at Arms to somebody who actually knows what they're doing, please. Thank you. We're going to have our steward here continue on improving that cultural acceptance with High Valyrian. We're up to 24% here. And we're almost finished converting Faith here as well away from the 14 Flames. Okay, while we wait for some more gold to come in, let's go and actually pay homage to King Rhaegar here. As per usual, we will show our submission, but nothing else. Rhaegar bids me to arise and confirms his satisfaction along with my rights to the lands I rule in his stead. Hail the king. Hey, and he's paid us back. The time has finally come to repay the loan you generously granted me 5 years ago. I greatly appreciate your willingness to help me in my time of need. Your kindness shall be remembered. And we gain 1,525 gold. Tremendous news. We've also just arrived home. Let's actually slow this down a bit, and we can head over to Valyria now and actually improve our mine. Oh, we could also actually build up the walls. What does that give us? 8,000 garrison plus 40 fort level, 99% increased hostile raid time. Prestige and renown per month. Okay, we'll definitely be doing that eventually, but for now, let's stay focused on the mine. That's probably the most expensive thing we've ever paid for in one go thus far. 4,000 gold, but I think it'll pay back quite nicely. King Rhaegar, who likes us quite a bit at the moment, would also like us to become Master of Whisperers. Why? We have 0 intrigue. Are you trying to get yourself killed? We'll accept though. We'll take the income. How old is Lord Guy now? Come on, 76 years old. Just die soon so we can be in control for like our whole life. We are up to 75% of being the legitimate house inside of the Lord Powermancy of Dorne. What I may actually do is petition the king and have him actually support our house's claim here. See if we can get this up to 100. Surely the king will reward us for giving him that massive loan back in the day as well. Oh my word. Hugh takes to the skies. Hugh has managed to claim the beast Green Comet. That's our son and heir. That's incredible news. He's a dragon rider without us even trying. That is exactly what we like to see. Well done, Hugh. Well done. So ideally, once Hugh doesn't die, it's now fantastic because he can build up his bond with that dragon before we even play as him. And then when we do play as him, before he dies, we can make sure it goes back into the dragon pit. Incredibly, I didn't even teach dragon lore to Hugh yet, but let's do that now. Oh, and the king's refusing to meet with us because he's traveling to Dragonstone. He was sitting right in the castle when I started this journey. That's fine though, we're not going to take as bad of a hit as we normally do when they refuse to see us because we didn't know that he was traveling. Another dragon has died. Sea Smoke at 153 years of age. Oh, sibling to Green Comet actually. Okay, here we go. Lord Guy is dead. It's time to elect a new director. It has to be me. The bank's new director, Lord Merrick, has received 416 votes. It took us like 2 generations, but we are back in control. Honestly, I don't necessarily want to be as heavily invested in the bank as I currently am, but with 50 shares at 30 gold a share, if I can like double or possibly even triple the share price while I'm in control of the bank and then we liquidate, that could be an incredible payday. We could start colonizing all of Valyria in one go. The first thing I'm going to do is actually take on the most aggressive level of risk in the bank. And then what I'm also going to do is adjust the dividend rates. We're going to focus on long-term growth. And then I'm actually going to decrease the interest rate by 1% just to try and really play the volume game. Just have tons of people taking smaller loans from us. And then we'll obviously make less from each individual loan. But the goal is just have everybody coming in. And then I'm also actually going to reject new investments for the time being. I want to maintain the control that I have on the bank for the time being. Our capital looks good. The loan looks good. The fund volume looks good. And the total value in the bank is strong as well. I had about 1,008 issued shares. Let's see what we can do with this. That is quite a few loans lost to default though. Ooh, I don't know if we want Hugh to keep the trait generous. Income is very much important to us, especially now that we're in control of the bank. I think instead, making you patient would be quite nice actually. Let's go for patient. We'll take the stress on us to try and improve our son. I am also going to replenish the investment fund here. We'll move 1,000 gold into our actual investment pool, just really trying to maximize that profit. The performance of the investment fund is dependent on the current director's stewardship. That is great to know, and I'm very glad that we decided to focus on stewardship. Let's also negotiate an alliance with Urros Starfell here that we gave Sunspear to, mainly to keep him out of any factions, to be honest. But with that, I'm going to leave this episode here. Super happy with our progress today, though. We got Green Comet back into the Dragon Pit, and then independently, our player heir and son, Hugh Starfell, managed to tame it by himself, becoming Green Comet's rider, picking up the Dragon Rider trait. Dorn is in great shape. We are back in control of the bank. We're keeping an eye on all the rest of the dragons, and things are looking good. We're also in progress of upgrading the mine inside of Valyria, which should lead to even more income. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like and subscribe. A massive shout out as always to all of our channel members helping to support this channel, and as always a very special shout out to our Emperor's Hands tier in Faustbread and Wyatt Laird. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video.